What up, everyone? My name is Charlie Maverick, and you are listening to or watching the Backyard Pitmaster podcast. I'm your host today, and I'm glad you could be here with me while I talk to my homeboy Terrance. Yes, Terrance has joined the podcast. Yeah, clap for that. As we talk about everything live fire, we're talking about chicken thighs, and we're talking about hamburgers. There is a chicken wing shortage in the world and it's spiraling out of control. We got a backup plan for you to help you make chicken thighs less boring. And we got this big debate: Bubba Burgers, frozen burgers, all that stuff, or fresh handmade stuff. Which is better? How to cook it? What do you do? What do you do? Well, without further ado, let us get into the convo and let's say what up to Terrance P. Elmore. What up, Broham? How you been?
Been doing good, brother. How about yourself?
All blessed and highly favored. Been a long week. You know, that's the thing. Glad to be here. Talk about live fire. I don't know about you. Grill just makes me feel so like in a zen mode. I don't know. I feel
Yeah,
good.
me too.
It's a,
Me
it's an
too.
escape. I don't know why it's so like it's so tribal or and so like I don't know. Mm, what's it what is the word for it? So back in the day, so prehistoric, but there's something about when that fire is there, the respect you have to have for it. It just I don't know, it calms me. I don't know. The thing that destroys brings a calming spirit. I don't know what that is. I mean, aside from that, I gotta wipe my brow because I'm sweating, but I'm calm at the same time. I'm just hot.
Yeah, because I didn't even notice that until my wife pointed it out. She was like, "Man, when you out there, you're in your zone." I'm
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, I guess so, man." It's just you be so focused, and yeah, you gotta be focused. Gotta make sure, like you say, you gotta respect that fire.
Yeah. I remember that Eddie Murphy stand up. I think it was Delirious where he talked about his dad in the backyard, just throwing the lighter fluid in there. Whoosh!
Yeah,
That ain't the fire. I show you the fire is. Whoosh!
yeah.
Don't do that. Don't do that. You gotta,
Definitely don't.
especially if you're in California. Nah, that's not a bad joke. I'm serious. Don't do that. No, don't set up another fire. Let's let's treat it with respect and let's understand that lighter fluid probably might kill or send some of those eyebrows off.
You never want to pour live fluid on the coals that are it. You want to do it before,
Yes,
always before.
something like childlike in me. I still do it though. I mean, I'm like, just let me step back. Just and then a whoosh. I'm like, look at that fire. Then I walk away and I feel stupid. Yeah, I do that. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I don't know. I mean, just as it is. So how you been grilling a lot lately? It's been hot outside. I know it's raining a lot. Hurricane season.
Um, Not a lot lately. I that's another thing. I kind of slowed down because, like you said, the heat, and then it doesn't
It's hot
stay
as hell.
dark. I mean, not dark. It doesn't stay as light out as it used to be. Like it's getting darker sooner, and the
That is
rain, of
true.
course. I did kind of randomly grill like in the middle of the week. I think it was last week, week before.
Ooh,
I was just sitting there. Matter of fact, I think it was because of you. You were
don't
telling me
blame me.
about something you were doing, and I was like, "Man, I'm taking this meat out this freezer, and I'm thawing it out. I'm lighting up the grill today."
What'd you cook?
What did we have in there?
No, it wasn't pork.
No, no, it definitely wasn't pork. It was some thighs. I think
Oh,
I had some thighs. I think I had some legs too.
yeah,
Um,
man.
and we did some shrimp.
Ooh, shrimp on the barbie. I
Yeah,
love it. I love
man,
some
I
shrimp
was
on the
getting it
barbie.
in. I think it was like a Wednesday, and then
Oh,
the dark did catch me, so I was out there with my flashlight a little bit, but
oh
it was
man,
worth it, man. It was worth it.
the struggle's real. It gets dark out there, and that's the best time to actually grill if you have the
Yes.
lighting because it's not as hot. But
And
man, that sounds good. Shrimp on the barbie. Oh, hmm. I might have to do that soon. I saw a video yesterday on YouTube, and they were doing scallops. Now, scallops, I don't know. I don't know. It got to be a certain way how you do it on the grill, because the one I saw were like those little bay scallops or whatever. But I like to get the ones from Costco or Sam's that are like the big sea scallops. Like those are the ones. And you gotta cook those just right. You can undercook it or overcook it in a matter of like a minute or so.
Yeah, yeah. I've done some scallops on the grill, but it was on a gas grill, and I used foil. We went out of town for our anniversary, and
Mhm.
they had a grill. As a matter of fact, it was Christmas, and we decided to go out of town to one of our spots, and they had a grill down there, and so we had some shrimp kebabs, and we had some scallops, and I did it with the foil. They had the gas grill. I lit it up. It was
Oof.
it was it was pretty good. I mean, but you put it you put it on foil. That's almost like doing it, on the stove, but still.
Well, I mean, what you don't want to happen is you don't want the scallops to fall through.
Right.
I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. I'm just saying. Normally, I say no foil, but I mean, look, you gotta improvise. It's better. It's still got some flavor in there from the grill. Trust me. It's
Oh
still
yeah.
better to do it in the oven, but you definitely like in the video I was watching. They're putting directly on the grate. I was like, you brave, because they ain't that big. And I don't want somebody to talk about me or cuss me out because I lost one or two scalps. Scalps ain't cheap. I'm just saying.
Exactly. So you definitely, yeah, we definitely put them on the foil. And then too, we were outside and at the hotel grill, and it's just like, yeah, let's just throw this foil on there. But it
Yeah.
turned out really good. That was my first time ever doing scallops, on the grill.
Oh man,
I really want to try with
it's good.
some coals. That would be, oh man,
That would be wonderful.
yeah. I might do that this weekend.
Hmm. Well, let me
Yeah,
know how that turns out,
yeah.
because I might follow right behind you. Um, we like seafood. We eat a lot of seafood. We right now, because I'm grilling a lot. The only seafood thing I'm doing is like those. You seen them, the salmon pinwheels. Uh, yeah,
Oh yeah.
mainly do those for like food orders. But yeah, I want to do some more stuff like shrimp, scallops, and maybe like just grill a whitefish or something. I don't know. Maybe bass. I haven't had bass in a long time. I really want some like grilled sea bass. Whoa, whoa!
Yeah.
This blew my mind just now.
Yeah, I've never had I've done salmon on the grill. Just some fillet. I've done it on a what do you call the board? Like the I forget
The
what's the
cedar plank thing.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I did it on that one time too. That was pretty good. Did some vegetables on that as well. I was like,
Mm.
okay, okay.
Working with something right there.
Yeah, trying it out, man. Just experiment. Sometimes that's what you got to do. Just try it out. Now you
Yeah.
don't want to do it with expensive meat just in case you mess it up. But I mean,
Yeah. Right.
it's
Not
just
at least not the first time.
yeah, exactly. You want to kind of test your waters first.
Let me take some of this. I don't know, this whiting over here. See if I can. I don't know. Some of this tilapia. You get those dime a dozen. You know what I mean?
For real.
I'm like, hey, we got swordfish. Oop, not gonna do that the first time. Hold on.
And speaking of tilapia, so Walmart has whole fish now, but it's tilapia. And I was like, so you finally have like whole fish with the head and the tail, and it's tilapia? You
Yeah, and
could,
it's farm raised, so they don't catch
yeah,
them wild.
like
Yeah.
you couldn't get any whiting in here, anything like that. I mean, this is South Carolina. You couldn't get any like brim, something like that, put in there.
I've never seen them sell brim in the actual big box supermarkets. I've never seen that. And I grew up eating brim all the time because of where we're from.
Right.
Blows my
Never
mind.
seen it. Never seen it.
Never. And man, if I couldn't, oh, this such a sweet fish. Sweet. The meat is sweet. It's not, even if you season it, all you gotta do is season it lightly, just lightly. And
Mhm.
it just does the rest of the work itself. Oh man, I want some brim. So there is they had this international food market on Food Network way back in the day, or the Travel Network, and it's the Buford Highway Farmers Market. They have all this stuff and all the stuff across the world. And in the back, they have a bomb ass fish market where they sometimes they auction off the fish. I'm thinking I might make a journey there to see because if anybody has brim, they'll probably have brim.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna see if they do. If not, I'll go for the red snapper. I don't know if you ever had red snapper on the grill. Jesus
No,
have mercy.
that sounds like it would
Oh,
be good.
yes, sir. Especially if you like stuff it with maybe like crab meat. I don't know. Get a little fancy. I don't know. Make it make it worth it. I don't know. You just can't go wrong. It's amazing. Oh, it's amazing. I don't know. Got me one fish now.
Yeah, because
So
now I'm thinking about something I saw. It was some salmon. Oh gosh. And so it was a big piece of salmon, and then they cut it and braided it, and then they put some crab meat on top, and then they put some
wow,
shrimp on top. Yeah. I gotta see
wow.
if I can find the videos. Yeah, exactly.
Send that
Uh,
to me, please.
'cause I don't
I'm
know about as
hungry.
big as a piece as it was, but I was like, I gotta try like a condensed version of this at the house. They did
I'm
it.
so hungry right now.
Yeah, you could do it on the grill
Hell yeah.
or the oven, but I would want to try it on the grill.
I say if you got the tools and the time, do it on the grill. It's the oven is for convenience, but the grill, man, the grill is where it's at. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, anytime I mention grilling to certain people, it's only a subset of people that this happens to. They try to tone down with the art of grilling because there is art to it. You just can't go in and have a totally transferable knowledge from cooking inside and take it outside. No.
Right.
I mean, if you however, if you use a very fancy teched out pellet grill that does the work for you, it is that way. However, we don't do that. Live fire traditional barbecue is done by doing manual, temp fire management. That's how we do. Even with a propane grill, you got to kind of know how you set the dial doesn't mean that it's going to be the exact temperature you think it is. So even that
Exactly.
you got to work it out. But they make it seem like, oh, it's just easy. You put it on the grill. I'm like, nah, and it's
Mm-mm.
not that easy. There's a lot that goes into it. A lot of work, sweat, literally sweat that goes into it, where you don't have to put that much thought into cooking inside. You know, and I'm sure we do both pretty evenly, and you could tell a difference. But there's always those people that never grill. That maybe their spouse grills or whatever. You know, they just get the benefits of it, but they're like, yeah, you just put on the grill. Like, get out my face and stop hating. You know, grilling is where it's at. I don't know. Like I mentioned, it's a zen place. I get out there, even though I'm sweating, the flies are all around me. I'm in I'm in this place of like, you know, COVID's out here. People still acting stupid, fighting over masks and stuff. But hey, look at that grill. Oh, no.
Right.
Hey, what's that? It's fire. Oh, I better watch that. Don't have to worry about it. F
And
those
then
other stuff. I got this fire to worry about.
in our backyard, it's a lot of birds,
Oh, you got to
and
fight those?
it's the sound, man. It's just
Oh, it's peaceful.
yeah, you're out there with the grills and the birds are just chirping, and then it's just like, man, this is I'm glad I'm outside.
You know, when I went to my mom's house, I think it was a few weeks ago at this point, I was grilling out here. I posted the pictures on Twitter of the chicken legs. We were out there and it was so relaxing. It was hot as shit, but it was so relaxing because you can hear the birds because she has all the trees behind her and all of that. Oh man, that is relaxed. I don't have that. I just have like I'm in the neighborhood kind of way out, open neighborhood. and I hear like kids playing down the street. Ah! And all that. I hear somebody playing music real loud. Boom, boom. I'm like, all right, let's jam into that. Then I hear a motorcycle start up. Or would you tell me earlier what you was trying to do something? Somebody's cutting grass.
Yeah.
Like, like, oh, that's fine too. Whatever. What are you gonna do? So I turn my music up. I have a speaker out there. Whoa, man. So I, and I thought about the video that you had me look at yesterday, and it had Masego on there. So I usually have like some vibe out there playing like Masego. Shout out to Masego. My wife put me on the Masego. Oh man, that's a talented dude. But anyway, that vibe out there, you put yourself in the zone. Awesome. Got to do it.
Yeah, and
No troubles in the
sometimes
world.
sometimes there's a little extra noise. Not long though, because like the occasional, like our neighborhood is pretty quiet. The kids around here, they're like at their age where they're probably outside just to go to like their friend's house, probably to play video games or something, or they're older. There's some kids up the street that play basketball. Well, they were playing basketball a lot when they got the new basketball goal, but after a couple of months of that, it's not every day like it used to be,
Right.
and it's it's yeah, for the most part, like yeah, when I've been outside, like I might hear a car riding by, but it just drifts off, man. Unless I'm in that deep of a zone with me, the grill, and the birds, that I don't hear it.
You and the
Me,
birds.
me, telling you, man, it's just
Do you see the same bird like frequently? They like
it's this
flop around
cardinal
like,
that I
hey,
see
Terrance
all
is
the
coming
time.
out here.
Yeah, I see this cardinal all the time, and I'm like, it has to be the same one. It has to be because he perches on that same part of the fence every day. And just
Really?
yeah.
It's interesting. You should name him.
And then there's a mourning dove. I don't know if you're familiar with how they sound. It's like we can hear it some evenings around the same time. It's about 5 o'clock, and it must be on our chimney because we can hear it through the fireplace. And
Hmm.
yeah, the mourning dove. It sounds kind of like an owl.
Oh, I probably have. Yeah.
Yeah,
Probably thought it was an owl. Yeah.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. And so
Hmm.
it's just like, whoa, okay,
Something like that.
yeah,
I'm good at
yeah.
bird sounds. I'm good at bird sounds. Don't judge me.
But it's just yeah, and I don't really hear that when I'm outside. I guess it just depends. But bro, I'm telling you, man, just being out there, those birds,
Oh,
those
man.
hot coals. I'm just in there, just there.
Yes, yes. It's a beautiful thing. I know if anybody's listening, you're probably that type of person that really appreciates when that time comes. Maybe you don't do it often because work and life, but when you get out there, it's special. I see all these people on YouTube, and they're just like what we describe. It is their place of zen. It's like having a man cave, but you can't cook in the man cave like that. You get smoke inhalation. You kill everybody in the house, but we'll see have a carbon monoxide poison. But if you had a man cave outside, I mean, you can't call it a man cave if it's outside. I'm just saying. But if you had that, that's what that's what it would be like. That's the equivalent. The same thing. It's your place of zen. All right. Now, we were talking earlier about an epidemic that's happened during the pandemic. I didn't mean to do that, but anyway, it's so there's a chicken wing shortage. Oh my
Yes,
god! Mm. Posted
yes.
about this a couple of months ago. I thought it would kind of resolve itself because that was around when that gas shortage hit. Uh, that lasted that long, but this is still around that chicken shortage. So they can't find the pack, the bag with the flats and the drummies. I can't find that. I can't find the ones where they have the flat, the drummy, and the tips all together. Can't find that. And I'm like, whoa. And if I do find it, like at Publix, well, it seems like they're inflating the charge like really high. Like, and I'm
Oh
like, it's
yeah, of
not worth
course.
it.
Supply and demand.
Yeah, I mean, I like wings. I love wings. I would eat wings every day if I had to. But you ain't gonna you ain't gonna do like a price hike on me, man. I'm just gonna eat another piece of the chicken. But
Right?
I'm
That's
just
that's how I am too. I love wings, but hey.
man, there's more parts of the chicken. I'm just
Now I
saying.
haven't been brave enough to try the Wingstop version with thigh stop now. Have you tried that yet?
I I'm not gonna lie. I thought that was a joke until
That's very
you just
real.
said that. Oh, okay. Wow. No. Wow. So wait a minute. I like Wingstop. It's not my favorite place to get wings. Just want to put that out there. Because the wings are it's so small, it's so little, and it seems like the
It
charge that
depends
they
on where.
make is like so
Yeah,
small.
it depends on where you go because you're right. Because it's a Wingstop that I've been to like twice, and the wings were small. And then I went to another Wingstop, and the wings were like surprisingly big. But
Yeah.
even at the place where they were small, it's like they gave me two extra ones as if to say, like, we know these are smaller than they're supposed to be. So I don't know if they switched up suppliers during that time or
I
what,
don't
but
know,
I was
man.
just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. That's the only reason why I don't go there. Well, one is the other one is far away. They have a wing stop where we used to live at in Sandy Springs, but that's a good 30-45 minute drive, and I'm not doing
Oh
that for
yeah,
wings.
that's not worth it.
If you're ever in the Atlanta area and you're in the Dunwoody area, like right above the perimeter, right outside the perimeter, I would say just right outside, across the street from 285, there is a place called Wing Ranch. It's a hole in the wall. I promise you, it's the best wings you ever had in your goddamn life. Oh,
Those hole in the walls have the best wings.
yeah,
Oh
man.
my gosh, it's like it was a little spot that I can't remember the name of it, but it was like a Mr. B's. It was one of those little. I guess it was a restaurant during the day, and it turned into like a little spot that older folk got to after work or whatever
I
in the
heard about that
nighttime, and
place.
it was
Yeah.
always open real late, and I would go there sometimes and get like a wing basket. It was fried wings, but those were the
Mm,
best wings that I,
mm.
I've I've ever had from them. I was like, man, this is like, what are y'all breading this with back there?
Love.
Yeah, yeah. It has to have been some older lady, and I picture some older lady in the back breading and frying this chicken.
It's
'Cause that's
probably
how
true.
that's how it
Because it was
tastes.
old folks' place later. Yeah, probably true.
Exactly.
Somebody's drunk uncle. Drunk uncles can cook now. Huh?
Yes.
Just gotta keep them from the beers. I'll tell you the best wing I had so far was it was a combination of the flat, the drummy, and the tip all in one. And it was at a place called Memphis Barbecue. You see, I'm bringing it back to the barbecue. And they smoked it. Well, I'm guessing this is how they did it because it was smoked, but you can tell they threw it in grease. So I'm
Oh,
thinking they smoked it for just enough time so it can get that smoke in, and then they seasoned it with lemon pepper because I love lemon pepper. It's a dry one. I hate the wet ones because they never get them right. And then it seems like they dropped it in hot peanut oil. Sorry if you have a peanut allergy. But man, I'm telling you, if that wasn't the best lemon pepper wings I had,
that
because it
sounds
was
good.
super crispy, just like it was a fried one. It was fried hard, but it was super juicy inside, and it had a perfectly smoked post oak for one, post oak flavor in there. Oh, it was good. I want to replicate that at home. However, there's a chicken wing shortage, so I can't do that. So we got to cook chicken thighs, right? That's what we're here. We're here to talk about chicken thighs. Chicken thighs need love too. You know what I mean? Huh? People hate on chicken thighs. Do,
And I love them
I do too. Like I don't
because
know.
for
People love
marinating
the chicken
purposes,
breast,
they're the best things to marinate with.
right? people are all about these chicken breasts and they dry out real quick. Um, as we were saying earlier in the pre-show, you get them crispy on the outside, they're dry in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
You got to baby them too much. There's small room for error. But the chicken thighs, perfect for marinating, just like you said. They're hard to screw up. You can cook them until they shrink down to nothing, and it's still not dry.
Right.
How that works. Even without the bone, it does that. I'm like, how do you do boneless, skinless, and it still doesn't dry? Like, all right, cool. So I like I like chicken thighs. We eat chicken thighs 10 times out of 10 over chicken breasts. And sometimes chicken thighs can be boring, right? It's like, I'm just having this bland ass chicken thigh, what I do with that? You probably just throw it in the oven. You probably don't even take a lot of thought and say, well, I'm gonna put these thighs on the grill. Maybe I want to smoke them, you know? Like it has this nice flappy skin on there that I don't know what to do with. It's probably never going to get crispy. And then you're like, how do I prepare it? So how do you prepare your chicken thighs?
Um, Two different ways. The main way is I take the skin off,
Yeah.
and I like to cut the bone out
Okay.
so it'll cook faster.
Yeah.
Um, Sometimes I leave the bone in. Just depends on how I feel, or depends on who I'm cooking for. Because some people like the skin on, but I don't know. I just like the skin off. And then
I
for
don't like the
one,
skin on.
thighs are harder to clean, and so if I'm being lazy, I'm ripping the skin off. Like especially with like leg quarters. Don't ever ask me to clean leg quarters if you want the skin on, because I'm pulling it all off.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't yeah, I don't like them on there. I agree.
Yeah.
It's
But
terrible.
for those times when people, hey, could you leave the skin on if it's just thighs and cool because it's not that much fat to cut off and it's easier to clean. But um, definitely have to marinate them.
Yes.
Definitely have to marinate them.
Yeah.
I do my own marinade sometimes, but I found some really good McCormick's grill mates marinades. Oh my gosh, there's a honey sriracha one that I just came across. It is
Ooh,
crazy. Yeah.
that sounds great.
So if possible, I marinate them overnight. But
Oh, yeah.
y-
Permeates all
yeah,
through the tissue,
yes,
breaks it
yes.
down.
But if you can't, then of course 30 minutes to an hour in the refrigerator. Then you kind of got to set them out a little bit so they kind of get the room temperature. But yeah, I
Mhm.
definitely like to marinate them. Um, when I do my own marinade, I'm heavy with well, I wouldn't say heavy, but like spices and herbs. Like I gotta have my
Okay.
spices, herbs. I gotta have my oregano in there. Sometimes some rosemary.
Ooh, fancy.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Seasonings. So Trader Joe's has this seasoning called 21 Seasoning Salute, and it has 21 different spices and stuff like that, and no salt.
I immediately thought of 21 Savage when you
Yeah.
said that. Sorry. 21, 21. Go ahead. Sorry.
so you, so I use that a lot too, and I use seasoning salt. Tony's. I use Tony's, but a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Just a
Tony's
little
is
bit.
good.
Just yeah, just a little bit. But that 21 salute, that's I'm telling you, man, those herbs and
20.
especially with a little extra oregano and stuff.
Mm,
Ah man.
sounds good,
And
man.
yeah. Cause if I do my own marinade, I do a little Worcestershire in there. Um I'm not gonna tell you everything, but
Nah, don't give away the secret now. No, no, because just in case you wanted to write a cookbook for the
yeah.
lineage.
But yeah, that's what I like. I have to. I mean, even it's like I said the other day, I did one like improv too, but we used sauce.
Hmm.
I'm not a big fan
Okay.
of sauce,
Yeah,
but
either.
we got a sauce from Trader Joe's. I can't remember the name of it, but it was a new sauce. Send you a picture of it after the show. But
I gotta find the Trader Joe's by me.
I man, I
Keep
use
talking
that.
about Trader Joe's.
Yes, that sauce, man, I was like, dog, I'm glad I sauced all of these because I just seasoned them. I just seasoned them and let them sit a while, and then I threw them on the grill, and then I put the
Right.
sauce on there, and it was great.
Yeah, man, that sounds good. So how did you cook it on the grill? What is your technique? Your technique?
That Wednesday, what did I do? Because sometimes I grill like over the coals, and sometimes I do the hot side where I
Mhm.
grill them on, flip them over, and then move them over to the other side and put the top down. But I did because it was nighttime and it almost getting dark. I just cooked them all on top of the flame. Just
So
kept it
hot and
going.
fast.
Yeah, and it
You know,
still wasn't fast enough because it started getting dark. And I think they were still kind of cold too. That was the other thing. I was just like, "Come on, man."
oh, that was slow down. Yeah. Well, I mean, hey, it happens.
Yeah,
You got to
but they
pivot.
were hey, they were cooked to perfection. Perfection. Um, they weren't raw. They were cooked well, and they were good. So
I temp probe a lot of my meat, but this one thing I don't really do too often is temp probe chicken. I think we cook chicken so much, no matter what your method is, if it's grilling, frying, baking, whatever, you can kind of eyeball when dark meat is ready. You can cook the hell out of dark meat. Just don't take it off too soon. You can leave it in there for a little bit, but as long as you don't take it off too soon, you're good.
yeah.
Yeah. Um, so do you like, how do I say, when you put the sauce on, do you like let it caramelize over the hot coals, or do you kind of like that's the last thing you do after you really take it off since you already marinated and stuff?
Well, when I'm using a sauce, that's another thing too. I have to ask my wife first, like, okay, you want sauce on this or whatever. Then I don't marinate those because
Oh,
that
good.
just yeah,
That's
that
too much.
just yeah,
Yeah.
way too much. But her and yeah, my mom's too likes the caramelized. So because I even tried one time to be slick and just be like, all right, just throw the sauce on there. But it was like, no, I want the sauce on there while it's on there. I was just like,
Right.
no, I don't want the sauce on it at all, but okay. And so I did, yeah. So like I go over twice on both sides
Mm,
because I go
okay.
light one time and then
Yes.
light again, and then I flip it, and then it's like okay, and it kind of gets in there, and then I come back over like a coating and let that caramelize.
Don't sweat the technique, folks. That's how you do it. A lot of people, lazy people, I would say. I don't know how they cook inside, but I seen people just like put blobs of sauce on it and just walk away. I'm like, that don't look good. What are you doing?
No,
That's
no,
that's not gonna set up nice. This is gonna be the same blob when you come back 5 minutes later.
right? Because even if you don't have a brush, there's so many things you can do. Like I mean,
Spoon. I don't
not
know.
even that. I remember it's
Something.
like back in the day, like in those
Spatula.
improv two, cookouts at somebody's house, and it's like, hey, I got this grill in the corner. Man, I've like been doing
Paper
chicken, and
towel. Blot it.
sh-
Yeah.
I use the other piece of chicken, and yes, that it got it all over there.
You went savage on him.
What?
Not only am I cooking you, you gonna help me sauce up your brother over here.
And,
Get him.
and that's how I did it. Like if I'm ever in a situation where there's no brush or anything, I'm not doing the paper towel. I'm using another piece of chicken.
Oh man. Oh man. Oh,
It works
oh,
though. It
I
works.
gotta catch my breath. That All right, that's dope. I never heard of anybody doing that. That's dope, though. I mean, you got to improvise, right?
You got
Like,
to.
what I gotta do? Go look for this damn something to spread it with. By the time you come back, that the one that you were going to use probably starting to get caramelized. You're like, God damn, it wastes too much time.
Right.
Gotta do what you gotta do in the moment. I'm just saying. Just saying. Yeah, man. I don't like sauce that much on it, but you know, I do by request, just like a lot
Yeah.
of other stuff. It's a sauce. I always had this thing is if I put enough work into. seasoning or marinating it,
Yes.
brining it, however the prep went into it. I don't want the sauce to be um I want it to, if I have to put it on there, I want it to be something that I planned out and I want to complement. But I don't want to put it on there just for the sake of putting on there because that may cause a clash of flavors. Never know.
Right.
Layers of flavor don't always turn out to be good layers of flavor. It's be like, hey, that had a lot of layers of flavor, but I didn't like that third one. Mwah. Don't give me that shit. No, leave it. Just leave the sauce on. If you're not sure if it works well with it, don't do it. Try it on your own first before you give it to me. I'm just saying. Yeah. So that's the dope way to cook it. I tried a new technique. Um, and I think it's the easiest way that I've done it. So my wife likes skin on hers. I don't like skin on anything really, but I have to do the crispy skin because if I have the skin on there, you don't want it to be flappy and loose.
Yeah. Yeah. Me too. I'm the same way. Yeah.
So there's another issue that I see with how people season chicken with like the skin on, and it takes a little bit more work, but you got to get up under the skin of the thigh or whatever you're cooking. Like even the leg, if you can get under that, do that, get up under the skin because if that part doesn't get seasoning, that ain't gonna really come through the skin and season that meat. It's gonna stay on the skin. So unless you like skin, you need to season the actual meat. So I get up under
Right.
there and season, and then you'd be surprised how many people don't do that. I'm like what if the skin just flops off,
Right. Because
or what
it
if happens
happens.
in yeah? What if you cook it to where there's no skin left? I've done that. What did I do? It's just a bland chicken.
Yeah, or the skin comes off from the time you take it off the grill and put it in the tray or whatever, and then
Yeah,
someone goes in and picks it up and they just brush the skin off, picking up another piece of chicken.
yeah, lost flavor. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
and then
saying?
now they eat the chicken looking at you like, wow, man, Charlie really didn't know how to season this chicken, man. Got this
I'm saying.
bland chicken over here.
And what I do when I don't marinate. So what I usually marinate chicken thighs if it's the skinless boneless because I'm kind of maybe doing that super hot and fast and doing that to put it in something. But if I do it with the bone in and it came with the skin, here's what I did. So I had a pack of 12 thighs. I divided 6 by 6, and I took the skin off of 6 of them, and I left the skin on 6 of them. I made sure I seasoned it up under the skin and on the skin and the back, of course, because you got to season all sides, right? Cut the fat off. Cut the little hanging fat on. That's gonna burn up and ain't gonna render it. Cut it off. You'll be fine. And what I did was I used something real simple: salt, pepper, garlic powder. Now, what I do is make my own mixtures. It's coarse salt, coarse pepper, and if I can find it, roasted garlic powder. It makes a
Oh,
difference.
yeah, it
Makes a
does.
difference. Yeah. So you don't get a lot of that super garlicky flavor. I was trying to say it. Garlicky flavor, but you get more of a refined undertone to it. Oh, I'm getting too fancy. Let me keep on. So let that sit uncovered in the refrigerator because what I want the skin to do is I want it to dry out. The way to get crispy skin is you don't have moisture,
Right.
right? Cool. So sit in there while I'm heating up the grill. The ones with the skin off, I still had them in there because I still wanted to. I didn't see the purpose of segmenting them off. Had them in the pan, a foil pan. So I put them on the grill, indirect, in the pan. I think about for 20, 25 minutes. And I meant to tell you what I started doing. Um, when I do like delicate proteins like fish and chicken they can't take too much smoke. What I do now is I don't use the wood chips or the wood chunks. I have that expert grill brand from Walmart, the wood pellets. and it's oak and hickory mix. Very good.
Oh,
So what I did with that, I bought like I think it's a 6-inch smoke tube, and I put it right over the hot coals while I'm cooking indirect, and that gives me enough smoke for that duration of time that I have the chicken on that it gets a lot of that smoke. It might be white smoke, but it's a really short cook anyway, so it's getting all that penetrating smoke in there.
wow.
Now,
Okay.
now I have it in the pan, so it's staying. It's not really creating a broth yet because it's just smoking. So it's not cooking at a high enough temperature to render out enough fat, so you get juices and all that. But you get something because it is rendering something. It's rendering the little pockets of fat, right? So I let it go, and I saw it had a nice starting to get a nice brownish on top of it. I took I think 4 tablespoons of butter and some garlic, and then I melted all that in the microwave and poured it on top of all the chicken in the
Wow.
pan. Kept it
Okay.
in the pan, and then I covered up with foil for 20 minutes. And then I uncovered it and finished everything directly over the flame. I didn't have it on the direct fire. I had like a warmer rack that was giving a little distance. And
Okay.
then I kept flipping it and flipping it. And then when I started doing that, maybe sprayed the one with the skin with some cooking oil just to make sure that it's crisping up, because it doesn't always crisp up just because you put it on the flame. You got to make sure that if it retains some moisture from the pan, because it will, then you want to make sure you reintroduce something that's going to crisp it up. So did that and took it out. Man, I'm telling you, that thing, that thing right there, this is the easiest way that I've cooked chicken thighs in a long time. Stayed in the pan the whole time. Easy cleanup. No flipping. Nothing. Well, until I put it on direct flame. That's all the work right there. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Ah, well, that sounds good.
Yeah. It might seem like a lot of butter, but what it does is when you cover it, it starts to steam it, and it starts to form its own broth. You don't eat it. You don't use like whatever's in there. Don't put it on top of anything because your cholesterol is gonna spike. I'm just telling you. Don't put it over rice. You might be tempted because it looks so good. It renders down. That you're like, ooh, this is good gravy on rice. That ain't nothing but butter and chicken juice. I would refrain from it that time. But if you got to go out, you'll be happy. Gotta go out that way. I'm just saying, if you're hard headed, I'm just saying you'll be fine. So what I do with the chicken skin for the other six, I made some chicken chicharron, and that was very experimental because I've never done this before.
Yeah.
So if those don't know what chicharron is, it's a Spanish word for crispy skin stuff. You make it crispy skin. It's usually for pork rinds. You have pork rinds, pork skins, whatever you call it from your region. I was making a chicken version of that. I figured you would appreciate this because you don't eat pork. And this may be something because you don't like skin on your thigh either. Maybe this would be something that you might actually want to try out. So
I think I am.
there's a vital part to this, which I've learned from trial and error. When take that skin off of the thigh very gently and keep it in one big piece. And then what you do is you turn it over, the part that was facing the meat. You take off as much fat from that thing as you can without tearing it. The key is not to tear it and to get as enough fat off as you can, because that fat will not crisp up like that skin will. And if you leave that fat on there, that fat's going to be a little chewy because it's fat.
Right.
So there's nothing but that chicken fat doesn't render out. I don't know. So I didn't put the same salt, pepper, garlic on there. I might use a different seasoning this time, but I put the same pork seasoning called butt rub. Whatever people say, butt rub. Ew, grow up. But it was heavy on salt, and I put it on there because it comes out heavy. it was a little too salty for me, but the, I would say if you scale back the salt, maybe I don't know, as liberally as you season the chicken. I went a little bit more heavy than I did the chicken. That was my fault. Um, but I mean, it came out crispy, really crispy. What you got to do after you take it off the heat, because you cook it indirect for a little bit, and then you cook it direct for the rest of the time. So it just crisp up, and you keep spraying it with cooking oil just to make sure it keeps that fat going, the good fat that's going to actually help it crisp up. You gotta let it cool. Keep it on a rack. Don't let it sit directly on paper towel. Don't let it do any of that. Sit on a rack and let let the oil drip out of it, and maybe put it in the fridge or something, and just let it cool off. Be one of the best things you had in a long time, guarantee.
Yeah, this is it's a lot of care into it. It better be one of the best things I had in a long time. It
Yeah,
sounds
yeah. I mean,
sounds good though. Yeah.
I mean, I won't like to throw away stuff if I can avoid it. So I like pork skin. So I'm like, I won't do this. I won't do this every time by no means. But if I ever get in the mood to, I'll do that. I mean, it's a little work and it's time consuming taking it off the chicken thigh without tearing it. It is. It's a lot of work. Maybe it's more beneficial if you take like a huge piece off a leg quarter, because that piece will be big because you're going
Yeah.
that would be huge. And maybe you can cut that into like square, like nice shapes, consistent shapes, and make it smaller. And if you want to, don't even put it on the grill. Just fry that sucker up in the skillet. And then boom, there you go. If you could, I mean, we're talking about pitmaster stuff and grill, but I mean, for Shisharon, hey, I wouldn't if you can, it's not something that needs to be cooked on the grill. It actually would turn out better cooking in a skillet on the stove. So if you do it, that's my advice. You can get a little bit of smoke on there at first, but if you want it super crispy, either you got to stand over that fire for a while and keep flipping it, or you flip it over the stove, whatever heat you like to endure that day.
Yeah, I used to love pork skins, man. I used to, oh man, barbecue, plain.
Mm-hmm. They said it was good for you, but I'm like, what? What?
Yeah, I
I don't
don't know
get
how.
it.
Yeah,
I don't know how skin
I
is good
heard
for
that too. I'm just like, I don't know how that's true, but yeah.
you. Skin? You know, there was a brand of instant pop pork skins. I lie to you
What?
not. I swear. It's just like popcorn. They have it in the bag,
Yeah, I saw
put it in the
that.
microwave. Those are good because they're
You actually
hot.
tried them? Wow.
Yeah, man.
And I was always
Yeah.
wondering who would try them and
This guy. This guy has probably tried it.
I remember seeing, yeah.
It's not bad. It's actually I don't know how to do it. I don't know what type of long-term effects that has on you. Maybe it's just as much as you eat popcorn a lot and pop it in the microwave, but I mean it's the same principle. As long as you don't burn it, man, it tastes pretty good. I can't remember the brand, but it was at one of those like bodega stores, um, like Fred's or something like that.
Yeah, because I think when I saw it, it was like at IGA or somewhere. It was one of those stores like that.
Yeah, it's not in a huge big box store like Kroger or something like that. No.
Wow.
It might be now. Maybe it's a Walmart. I'll check because I get a craving for it once in a while, but I haven't had it in like over 10 years. It's been a long time.
So what is it doing? Like, so that's what I'm trying to understand because
It puffs up or
so
something.
yeah.
They have like little pieces of pork skin in there, and I don't know how they do it to where it puffs up, but it puffs up just like popcorn pops. And if you do it the right duration of time, it's airy, it's light, but if you you can burn it real quick just like popcorn too. Um yeah, I don't know how they do it. Uh it's magic. I don't know, man. I would have to go on a YouTube rabbit hole to figure that out, but that doesn't mean I'm not willing to. It might happen today.
Yeah, I just might go and check it out too because I'm really curious. Like I said, I always wondered like who's really trying this, like who's eating this, and like how does the whole thing work? Because I'm like,
It's good, man.
whenever I had pork skins, it was already in the bag. Like with popcorn, I mean, you popped your popcorn. Sometimes you would get the kernels and pop them on the stove, or you got an air popper.
Yep.
That I get because shoot, we got an air popper. But I was
Oh,
just like
ooh.
pork skins. I'm just like, I don't know.
I don't know,
Like, what's
man.
the starting point of that? Like, where does
I,
where does the whole process begin when you put it in the microwave?
matter of fact, you might not want to know. Just enjoy. You know.
Right.
If I look it up, I'll probably never try
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So the chicken thighs, those are a couple of methods for you guys to try out there. If you want to alleviate or substitute something for this chicken wing shortage, it's not chicken wings, but it's not chicken breast. There you go. There you go. And if you do the leg quarters, just transfer whatever we said to the leg quarters. This is just a bigger ass piece of meat. I don't know what to tell you.
Usually when I do leg quarters, I chop them up anyway.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know the last time I did like whole leg quarters because it's just like, oh my gosh, is this
It
not
makes it
done
hard to
yet?
eat if you keep it together.
Yeah, and then somebody's always cutting it in half anyway.
Yeah, yeah. I rarely ever see somebody take the whole leg quarter and to their face like, "Ugh." I'm like, savage. All right, go in hard, go hard or go home. I do it. People judge me.
Yeah, me too. And
Cut
it's
it with a
like,
knife. What I look
yeah,
like cutting that piece of chicken with a knife.
right. I'm not cutting this with no knife, man.
Come on, man. The same.
Exactly.
We got unwritten rules about this.
It's just like a turkey leg, man. This is just that's how I look at it. This is almost like a turkey leg.
Yeah. Yeah, don't cut it with a knife.
You're not gonna
If
catch
it's
me
too
with a
hot,
knife
just
cutting
let
up
it
a
cool
turkey
off.
leg. Yeah.
Yeah, just let it cool off if it's too hot. My wife looks at me in amazement. Well, actually, most of my family does because I'm known for eating hot chicken out the grease and not burning my tongue. I don't know how to do it. I tell people how to avoid burning your tongue. They try it, they burn something. I don't know. You gotta practice. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, you
But
just kind of just bite into it, man, and move your tongue out the way.
that's why I tell them. I'm like, I don't know. They're like, nah, man, it's too hot. They look at me like, man, you tearing up that chicken. I'm like, yeah. They're like, you can't taste that chicken. Yeah, I can. This is
Yeah.
very flavorful. This is perfect time to taste the flavors of this thing. But I'm saying, if the chicken's too hot, wait till it cools off. Don't use a knife. I'm just saying. Although I said all that, Terrance, I said all that, and I'm a goddamn hypocrite because I did that yesterday. I used a knife yesterday.
Thank you for your transparency.
But I ended up picking it up later. I mean, I tried. I started. I'm like, man, fuck this. See, I'm transparent. I don't want to lie to you people and have you thinking I don't be doing that shit. I do.
It's just like, hey, man, I tried it. It's not working. It's not working. Hey,
It's not working. You know what I messed up with? I'm stupid. I'm real stupid. Idiot. The Elmo meme with the idiot. Boop. I'm like cutting it with, I don't know why I had a plastic knife of all the goddamn things, and the thing broke. And I'm like, screw it. Pick it up in my hand. I wasn't going to get another knife. And that would have been a dumbass move.
Well, if it's any consolation, a plastic knife doesn't count, man. So you
great. All right, I feel better.
Plastic knife doesn't count.
What the hell, you cutting cake?
Exactly.
Oh man. Whew. Oh, all right. So yes. Oh, so let's talk about burgers.
Yes.
Hamburgers. All right. So all right. Another thing going on here, just like the chicken. All right. So it's, I mean, it's football time, right? We got games going on. People looking for wings and stuff. They can't get wings. You substitute. We're helping you out. Substitute for thighs. Make it interesting. I don't know what you do with it. Do something with it. So, other thing is, people go to tailgates, cookouts. Cookout season, I feel, really starts in the month of September, and cook burgers. All right, cool. Now, I don't know about you, Terrence, but I've been to cookouts back in the day where it doesn't matter if it's a frozen burger or if it's a handmade burger, they cook it like it tastes like a goddamn hockey puck. They don't
Yes.
season it, especially if it's frozen. They don't season it. They just flip it and they put condiments on it. I'm like, no, nobody wants that. And they burn it up. There's like, ooh, it's charred. I'm like, it's burnt.
Yeah. Can we talk about that for a second? Now, it's
Yes, we can.
I hate when people burn up stuff on the grill and say it's char like hot dogs. It's a difference between having like a little char on your hot dogs instead of straight just burning it up like you forgot it was on there
If
and
the whole
burning the
thing's
chicken.
black, you
Yeah.
burn it.
And and that's another thing about sauce. When you sauce stuff, you really have to watch the grill because that sugar is going to burn from the sauce.
Absolutely.
And so some people put sauce on stuff and walk off and come back, and then now it's burnt, and it's like, oh yeah, it's a little char. No, it's a difference between a little char and burnt food. Like, please, if you're listening to this, please stop burning up your food on the grill. Okay, you may like it, but your guests don't like it. Okay,
You don't cook everything on the direct flame. I'm saying.
no. But back, go ahead. Just go back to what you were saying. I just had to touch on that because I'm just thinking
That's
about that.
important.
Even with the burgers, like you said, man, you burnt these burgers and now they're like hockey pucks.
So let's start with the frozen burgers because that's the most convenient. That people get if they want to substitute for ordering out. I mean, we order from, I don't know, DoorDash, whatever. Get from Burger King, McDonald's. I don't know. We got some from Dairy Queen and some other stuff in the places. Sometimes you find some really good burgers. Most of the time, by the time you get it, or if you go get it in the drive-through or whatever, even at a sit-down restaurant, you never know. It might not be that good. Now, you're like, okay, I can make it at home. So let me get some frozen burgers because who feels like making the patty yourself, right? So you go to the store and you see Bubba, and I'm like, hey, who's got this Bubba Burgers? What's this all about? Put this on the burger. Or you get the kitchen bouquet or whatever the thing is, kitchen gourmet or something like that. And it's in a black box. Don't get that one. Don't get that one. That ain't good. And get the
It's
Bubba
another
Burgers.
one too, Flanders. That's
Flanders? Nah,
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know. I'm not buying anything named Flanders.
Those are the ones you see at the work functions.
Oh, no wonder they taste like that. Hmm. They're flat, aren't they? They're like super flat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like, yeah. I mean, they cover they fit with the bun, but why? It was like by the time they have no taste.
Man,
Matter of
they fit
fact,
with the budget. That's what they fit with.
look, don't buy the store brand frozen burgers either. Like, if it's thinner than your finger, but while it's frozen, imagine what happens when it thaws out and cooks. Oh God! Get the Bubba Burger. So you had Bubba Burgers for before, right?
Yeah, yeah. I like
How'd you
Bubba
like them?
Burgers. They're pretty good. I'm trying to think. I had an Angus. I'm trying to think. Was it Bubba?
I think they do make an Angus. Yeah.
Somebody had an Angus burger, and that was my first time trying it. It was really good. Um, they shrunk a little more than I thought they would. They didn't
Hmm.
shrink bad, but they shrunk a little more than I thought they would. But um, Yeah, I like the Bubba Burgers. I like them. I would say, well, if I had to buy some, I would buy Bubba. That's if we're not doing turkey burgers, so we eat turkey burgers too.
Yes, and turkey burgers. My choice would be uh, 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 um, um, what Butterball. That's the one. My favorite turkey burgers are Butterball. I don't know about yours.
Yeah, I like Butterball too. I like they have the ones that's in the pack. It
Yep,
comes it's like four already. Um, they're already shaped. It's just like homemade.
they're a little hard to
Those
get off the wrapper. I don't know if it's just me. It's like it sticks to the wrapper when you take it out for whatever reason. But yeah,
kinda. I guess it depends. You leave them out before you throw them on the grill.
I try to leave them out a little bit. Like I don't season before I put it on the grill because it's still like frozen. It ain't gonna do anything. But I
Oh,
try to leave about a little bit before I try to tear the wrapper off because sometimes the wrapper sticks to the edge of it, and I'm like, God damn it! Now I gotta.
and see the ones that we get, they're in like the freezer section, but like that refrigerated freezer section. So
Oh, refrigerated
yeah, they haven't even quite frozen yet. So,
one. Ooh,
I
okay.
yeah, now those are really good. The box ones are good. They
Hmm.
have like a onion flavored one that I got one time.
Might have to
That
try that.
we now, if you get those, make sure you don't get any type of sweet onion buns because it was a whole lot
Too
of
much.
it's too much.
It's
It
okay.
was it was
And
too much.
don't put sweet onion on there or
Yeah,
onions on there.
it was.
Got an onion
It
burger.
was so much because that particular brand that was that was the first time that Nikki ever had it. She was like, she just she chewed it, and I was like, so you like it? She was like, okay, and I was like, too sweet, huh? She was like, yeah. I was like, it's because the buns we got with it. And she was like, you're right. It's like, yeah, it's just too much sweet going on at one time.
Yeah, yeah, a little too much sweet. Yeah.
Yeah, so if you get those, which I noticed those are the ones they have most, and I was like, what happened to the plain box? But maybe it's the outage with that, like with the other foods is just a shortage. So
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
probably.
yeah,
Damn COVID.
but
Blame COVID for
Butterball,
everything.
definitely Butterball. I've had Janie O. I don't too much like
Oh, yeah, I don't like that one.
anything. They
The texture, it's too
yeah,
it falls apart too easy.
yeah.
Yeah.
But if it's beef, then yeah, I don't know. The last time we did like actual ground beef and kind of did the patties ourselves, but that I'll send you a picture of what I'm talking. You probably seen it like the butterball is four of them, and it's in that little see through. It's right over there with the chicken and like the
It's
turkey
in a bag,
wings.
not a box, right?
Well, it's in a tray. It's in like a plastic
Oh, a
tray.
tray. Okay.
Yeah, it's in a plastic
Hmm.
tray, and it's the cover is kind of see through. You can see. I'll send you a picture of them, but those are
Okay.
really good. Oh man,
I have to try those.
like
I
if
like
you're
turkey
going,
burgers.
yeah, if you're going to do turkey burger, do those. But beef
You
burger,
you ever tried like the veggie, well, not the black bean and stuff like that, but you ever tried like the Beyond Burger and stuff like that?
yes. So I've had the Impossible um burger and Incognito. I think Incognito is made by Morningstar,
Yeah. Yeah.
but they were both good.
They are. They're really good.
The Incognito, I think it reminded me more so of a turkey burger, and the Impossible actually tastes like a burger.
You should try Beyond. So there's a science behind it. That's for another show though, but there's actually a little bit more natural than the other two.
Right, and that's the one we can't find. I've been looking for those.
Yeah, they cost a little bit more than the other two
Yeah,
as
you know
well.
what? Now I think about yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
they're
sorry.
good though.
That's the first one we had was Beyond. Now I think
Yes,
about it. Yeah, the very I forgot about that. The very first one we had was Beyond.
so
Um,
good.
I kept going online to see who would have them, and Food Line had them, and they were about $7. I think the
Yeah,
price went
that's
up
about
since
right.
they yeah, I think the price kind of went up since then, but that was the very first one we had, and those were good.
They're pretty good. They're they do a lot of work in with the texture of it, so it doesn't have that fat. You can tell the difference between the beef burger and that, of course, but
Of course.
the texture and the way that, depending on the temp that you cook it at, it kind of replicates that the blood type factor. Because I like my, if I cook my burgers, I like it to be uh medium, unless it's frozen burger, like a beef frozen beef burger, because I don't know how safe that particular burger is to do that. I'd rather have it fresh. but but with that, I cooked it medium, and it actually, well, I didn't have to. I don't know why I did it, but it still replicated that actual inside, the pinkness inside. I'm like, whoa, that's kind of crazy, man. That's
Yeah.
how'd you do that, buddy? Like that's some great science right there.
Yeah, my sister, she's a part-time vegan, so
Part-time vegan.
yeah, like
You
we
know, that's reasonable. I
yeah,
don't know
we
how you go vegan all the time. That's not sustainable. Come on.
yeah, so we've been trying some like vegan dishes, and one time we made some like pulled pork, but it was like jackfruit, I think it was.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and the texture and everything was just like it.
Nah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to debate you on that one. Ain't nothing hitting like pulled pork. Not,
I'm telling you, with the
nothing hitting like pulled pork, man. Come on now.
on a bun, I think we had on like some what did we use? I think it was some sweet roll buns or whatever, but it's certain things you put on there, and I can't remember exactly right now, that replicates a flavor. And it's like with the barbecue sauce on there and stuff, it
Ah, okay.
did. With now, I'm not saying it was just the jackfruit, but with barbecue sauce and everything like that, yeah, the texture and everything.
Yeah, I'm willing to try it. I'm open
Yeah, it
minded.
was.
I'm willing to try it.
And I've had like the black bean burgers. My sister made those.
Those are
Um,
good. You just
yeah,
got to be at home or to somebody else, just in case that thing don't agree with your stomach. Don't be eating the black bean burger and go on a road trip or get stuck in traffic. You could be like on Pops on Friday. Be like, help me,
help me,
please.
please.
Oh, there's black beans. Just trying to get out. It's beans. Remember, people, it's beans. You know what beans do to you. No, I have to explain to you. It's beans, black beans, black. Just think black is. Come on, you think black is harsh already? Black, just hit you a little bit harder. Hit you in the back of the head in a dark alley kind of thing.
Oh, and you're in Atlanta. Have you had Slutty Vegan?
No, no, I'm offended by your. No, I'm kidding. No, no, I haven't.
Let me rewind that. Have you ever, have you have you ever had the vegan burger place that's called Slutty Vegan?
Oh man. Oh man. No. I've heard about it a lot. When I started to hear about it, the world started to shut down. So I never made it to there. I've seen it on
Man,
TV, but I've seen that they were starting to get, people I knew went there and it was a little bit too late. Not saying I won't go there, but I mean, I gotta bypass the vortex, which I mean, I don't know. I appreciate the vegan cuisine, but if I gotta bypass the vortex and they have all these specialty burgers, I don't know, man. I don't know. I might have to get grocery that day. You know what I mean? Get both places, try both out, and then go on a itis coma. Um,
they came to South Carolina, came to Charleston, and I think somewhere else. Did like a pop up. The line was long,
I could imagine. I heard
but
great things about him.
it was worth it. Like that was the best vegan burger. It tasted like a real burger. Like it blew my mind. I was like, wow.
Did you
Because I've
feel
been
slutty?
no
Is that the intent? Is to make you feel like a dirty vegan? You know,
That's
I mean,
what,
that's it.
and that's what I'm
To
trying to
put that
figure
in
out.
perspective for
Like
people who
where,
wonder why it called itself that name.
right? It's like where did that come from?
See what I just did?
Yeah, because like the one that I had was called the sloppy toppy,
See.
and it's I
Oh
think
God.
it.
Oh God.
But that's marketing. Like sometimes you have to kind of push the envelope a little to get people interested in your products, man. And
You know,
they got like a whole culture, man. They got merch and all kind of stuff. So even if like they got a following, man. Like the
I
line was wrapped around, like it was crazy. It was cold outside, but they were smart about it. They gave out tickets and they let you know in the line we only have these two. So they weren't trying to do like their full menu and then have people standing in line because I hate that. You have me standing in line and I get there, oh yeah, we out of this. So they say, hey,
real
we got these
slutty.
two burgers, and then they passed out tickets. And so when the ticket was up, that was it. So they didn't have people standing in line, and then you get to the front like, oh, sorry, we out. So that was very
Yeah.
smart. Like they respected people like, hey, we know the line is long. We got X amount of these burgers, X amount of those.
Yeah.
When these last tickets are out, that's it.
I mean, that makes sense. You know, they didn't act so slutty when they did that.
Yeah.
You know, when you were mentioning the sloppy shit, I can't say it. You remind me of something that Kevin Hart said. Um, remind me of something. So if somebody asks you if you could do something, I don't know if you could pull this off, but if somebody asks you, can you do something, you rebut by saying, can a cherry get popped at a picnic? That's what it did. Sorry. Mama, forgive me. I didn't make it up. I didn't make it up.
Oh
You just
gosh.
remind me of that.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, well, you eat at the slutty vegan. Well, can the cherry get popped at a picnic? There you go. I think that in this context is appropriate. You can't use it in a work setting as a rebuttal, though. You can't do that.
No,
That's a
because speaking of work setting, I came back and I told my coworker, I was like, yeah, she was like, did y'all go? I was like, yeah, we went. And she was like, okay. And she looked at me and she was like, which one did you have? And I was like, I can't, I'm not going to tell you which one I had. I said, I'll come to your desk and I pointed on the menu. I said, that's the one I had. Because I said, I don't need anybody overhearing our conversation and be like, what did he say to her?
Oh man, I wonder how many church functions that. Oh man. Oh man. Yes. Yeah. Oh, I'm such a child. I can't help it. But yeah, I will try that place out. So when you cook your burgers, let's say it's a frozen burger. Say it's frozen.
Okay.
Burger. When you cook your burgers, how do you prepare them so they're not dry and they have some flavor to them?
This is what I do. I just take them out, put my seasonings on there, and then I put it on the grill face down to where I just seasoned it, and then I pull the paper off.
Smart.
And then I hit that other side while that side I just put down is cooking. And then after a while, once I see it's starting to melt, the ice is melting a little bit and it's starting to cook, then I flip it over again to look at that first side just to
You
see
just flip it over on your desk. I heard you ring like flipped over.
I'm a visual person.
Shit.
So then I flip.
I'm leaving all the shit in here.
So then I flip it over to the other side to look at the side I just put face down on the grill.
Yeah.
to see how much of the season actually came off, because that's going to happen.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah,
definitely gonna happen.
and so
Yeah.
so I hit it off again, um, and then at that point the other side's cooking kind of good, and then it kind of lifted up a little bit, because I don't want to keep flipping it. So that's how I do it. Now, if it's not frozen, of course, when I do just the ground beef and things like that, I
Mm-hmm.
put the seasoning in the ground beef, and I like to use ranch, like the Hidden Valley Ranch.
I heard
Um,
good things about the ranch. Yeah, I've
yeah, it's
used it
like
once
the
in a while.
mix, you're supposed to like mix your own or whatever, the powder,
Mm-hmm.
and I
The
sprinkle
dry
that
one,
on the out. Yeah, I sprinkle that
not
on
the
the
salad
outside.
dressing, people. Not the salad.
Yeah, I sprinkle
Some
that on
people
the
have.
outside,
Man, I got
and
some in the fridge. All right.
because another thing, and my cousin put me on too. That's if you're really trying to have like a real good juicy burger. It's like you do it, you cook it on both sides, but and that's if you want it well. And then you
Right.
take them off the grill, and then you put it in a pan and cover it with foil, and you let it finish in the oven, and that keeps them juicy.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I remember when we tried that for the first time, I was like, wow.
Hmm.
Now you have to eat them that day, because you try that heating them up the next day. It's no,
It'll be
it's just
nothing. It'll be a meatball.
yeah. But they were so juicy and so flavorful. It was crazy.
Hmm. Interesting.
Yeah.
I kind of like that. So, how I do with frozen burgers, it's kind of how you do it, but I kind of some most of the time I rip the paper off first.
Okay.
So I put it on the grill, nothing. I put it on maybe the direct heat right quick. I'm trying to get it to defrost a little bit. So maybe depending on how hot the fire is, probably just start to season it once I'm able to see that it's defrosting a little bit. Getting a little texture on the side that's on the flame, but I don't want it to cook it too far because I need to season that side too. So I season it, salt, pepper, garlic powder, maybe some accent. Yeah, got got some MSG up in that piece, and I'm just saying, and wait till the other side is it doesn't need to get any color to it. I just need it to be able to have its integrity. Um, and then I flip it, and then I do the same thing to the other side. Now, once I see that the it's starting to get totally out of that frozen state, my wife put me on to this one, is go in the fridge and get that Worcestershire sauce and baste
Mm-hmm.
it with it. Mm. Start
Oh
basting
yeah.
it. Oh my gosh. And then right before you take it off, even if you don't like sauce, even if you don't like sauce, this probably works and maybe keeps it as moist as putting it in the oven. Is you you get the nice grill marks on it, get it seared off a little bit, then you put the sauce on it. Now what you can do is you can put a thin layer on it, you can put it back on there so you can caramelize a little bit, just a little bit, and then you take it off and let it get on that indirect heat, and it'll kind of keep cooking it slow internally, but it was not going to dry it out, right? Or you can just, if you like sauce, put a thicker layer on there and just let it sit off to the side from the opposite the heat until you see it set up like you want, and then boom, just take it off. The thing that I rarely ever do is the handmade burgers. Um, but when I do them, I try to make them in a way. I think my father-in-law does this. I'm trying to remember correctly. I don't give the whole thing away. We call it the crack burger. So if you got some fresh jalapenos, that's going in. You got onions, that's going in. You got a little bell
Mm-hmm.
pepper, that's going in. You got a little bit of cheese that you can put in there a little throughout,
Yes.
that's
Mm-hmm.
going in. You know what I mean? Um, make a nice, patty pass, put a little indentation in the middle, cause so it doesn't, roll up like a big meatball once you take it off. It kind of
Right.
stays flat. And then do the same thing And I would actually season it first before, putting it on the grill because it's not like a frozen burger. So I probably with that crack burger, I would, I would go a little bit light with the salt because I'm going to have one part Worcestershire and one part soy sauce, have a little in a very shallow marinade because it's going to soak it up pretty easily because it's fresh ground beef, mainly what I'm doing it on. I haven't tried it with turkey or chicken. Maybe I will, but that's probably help keep it like moist. But with the beef, it's going to soak it up real quick, and that's what you want. And then just kind of do the same procedure. Flip it, baste it, put some sauce on it if you want, whatever have you. And there you go. You have your burgers. And the cardinal sin that I see people do at cookouts is they don't put enough love into the burger. They think burgers are so simple. Burgers are not simple. You know how easily you can screw up a burger? Do
Yeah,
you
really,
realize?
especially if you're not paying attention.
Right. I mean, the seasoning is as important as the cooking method, and it is just as important as maybe treating it like a steak, especially if it is beef. Because some people, like me, if it's a fresh burger, I want it medium. I want some pink in the middle. And you got to make it thin enough, but thick enough to make it worth it. Kind of like what they call a chop steak is basically a burger patty without the bun. That's what chop steak is. You treat it with care like that. Just imagine that if you didn't have a bun or condiments, how flavorful do you want your burger? I don't want the condiments to make the burger for me. I want the burger to speak for itself. Right? Um, there's this
It's
one place that I don't know if you remember, Fuddruckers. Um, they have some of the best burgers I've ever had in my life. And it's a build your own for the most part, build your own burger place. So they'll cook the patty for you to whatever temperature you want. And you can get like any size. They can get as big as you want. if you if you are a glutton, then it can get as big as you want. I didn't even notice that you dropped off. But
I wasn't going to say anything. I was just going to start talking.
uh yeah, the Fuddruckers, man. I this whole burger conversation kind of came up as well because we saw something about Fuddruckers the other day. My wife showed it to me, and shout out to the CEO of Fuddruckers because that is now the largest black-owned food franchise in the world. Give a shout out. I forget his name. I should have pulled up the article, but give a shout out to that. That's big things
Yeah, I
right
saw
there.
that the other day too.
Yeah, that's big. I love that place. I really love that place. But it's not worth going there, getting a burger, driving back home. And we're not at the point where we want to eat inside yet. But man, ugh. If you just think about a sit-down restaurant and how much work you want them to put into that burger. If you have guests, give them the same amount of respect. Treat that burger with love. It doesn't matter if it's frozen or not. I told you about a time before I was at a work function and they had nothing but frozen patties. It wasn't even the
Yes.
good ones. And I made those work. They took way longer than they thought it should take, but it was worth it. You got to put time, effort, and love into these things. Frozen is just for convenience. Doesn't mean it needs to correlate to less flavor. You know what I mean? These people are here, I tell you.
Speaking of burgers, we're going to get some burgers from a place called Bad Daddy's tonight.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm wanting to. They have one in Somerville too. Never
Hmm.
had them, so I'm really
Gotta try
curious
that.
about that. Yeah, I'll let you know how they are.
Man, a good burger. So, how fancy do you get? Sometimes I'm. Oh, people call me bougie. Whatever. I like a sunny side up egg on some of my burgers. If
Me
it's
too. Yeah, if I have
all
time.
right, perfect. All right, so I'm not alone. I'm not the only black guy that does that. Because every time I mention that to a black person, they're like, "Ew, man, what you do that? What? Yeah, man, it's good, especially if you got a hangover."
I try it, man. I try anything, man. And I saw somebody with one. I was like, egg on a burger. I was like, Matter of
Steak and
fact,
shake, it's good for
the
that.
Cheesecake Factory has a
Oh,
macaroni and cheeseburger.
mm,
I remember I ordered that, but I was like, what? And it was actually pretty good.
macaroni and cheeseburger.
Yeah.
I must know how this is made.
They put the macaroni and cheese on top of the burger, man. That's it.
Oh, that's it. I thought they made
Yeah.
it. Never mind. I think it was more extravagant, or never
You
mind.
thought it was somehow ingrained in the meat?
Yeah,
You thought it was
I
an
wanted to see.
infusion?
I wanted to see how they made the noodles work with the beef. I was like, oh, well, they found. What kind of mad science
Nah.
are they doing? when the noodles like taste like weird in that thing, I don't know. But you eat chili mac. I don't know. It might work. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. Who am I? I don't work there. Man, you're making me hungry, man. I might I might go to Cheesecake Factory. I haven't been there in a minute. Man, I just want I want a good burger. I want a good burger,
Yeah,
and
me too. I
every
hope
time
it's
we
one of
try to
Mac's
order out
place.
somewhere, it's always subpar every time we order out. Tired of it. So I said, "Hey, April, if you want some good burgers, why don't you?" I got a little like arrogant when I said it. I was like, "Why don't you let the backyard pitmaster do that?" She looked at me like, you know.
I'm gonna tell you the best burger I had, and I can't even remember the name of the place. I just know where it is. But it's one of those places that they're only open a certain time during the day, and so it's like you can never go there after work.
Oh
And
man, I hate
it's
that.
and I used to work too far to go during lunch, but one day I was off, and I find because I've been hearing about it, and I finally got over there, and man,
Was it
that
worth it?
yeah, it was worth it. I was like, shoot, this might be worth me coming over here and getting it at lunchtime and just coming back late.
So you gotta do what you gotta do.
Cause it's like the best burgers are those places that aren't like place or even don't really have a
Right.
name or those what do you call them? It's like back before food trucks were a thing. Like it's just you go up to a window, but it's like a little small building.
Yeah, kind of
Those
like the ice
places.
cream bars type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Those
like
places
roosters.
usually yes, those places
Yeah.
usually have really good burgers.
They set up kind of like how the areas are at the fair. It's a counter you walk up to. Hey, I
Yeah.
know what you're talking about. Yeah,
Those spots
yeah,
like
those are
that.
good. Those are real
If
good.
you could find something like that, I doubt it in Atlanta, but if you could find something like that,
I can go in the
it's
hood and find it. I'm not going to the hood though. I'm trying to make it out.
Grubhub isn't either.
Nah, they're like this service charge is gonna cost you, buddy. This is what they call it, hazard pay. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not. Look. You in the hood? My bad. Don't come looking for me. I'm not talking bad about your neighborhood. I'm just saying, just don't be so violent. We want to come around too. We want to come around. Y'all got some good food, man. Chill out. Just cease fire until we leave, and then commence to the ass whipping after that. I mean, it's fine. Come on, help brother out. Woo. All right. So yeah, we talked about some good stuff today.
Yeah,
uh, I'm hungry.
me
Uh,
too.
I'm
Yeah,
really
as
hungry.
soon as we wrap this up, I'm throwing on my clothes and we can hit this bad daddies.
Yes. I
It's
tell
kind of
me how
franchise
that
too,
is.
so yeah,
Tell me,
I will. Yeah. Because like I
man.
said, they have one in Somerville, next and
I passed
so
by it then.
that's how
Yeah.
about to ask you. When you come home, do you go through that part?
I pass by it to go, like when I get off the interstate, when I get back on it, I pass by.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't pay attention too much.
Okay. So I'll
So
let
much
you
has
know if it's
changed
worth.
around here. It's like,
Yeah,
ooh,
yeah. And if you if you get caught looking, you might run into the back of somebody. So yeah.
that's why I
Um
stopped looking. Almost did
so
that.
I'll let you know if it's worth stopping.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because I'm definitely going to be back in town for Christmas,
Okay.
and yeah, I mean, Christmas food is. I want a burger sometime. What I'm saying? Yeah, that's some good stuff, man. So we got to get back together. You might have to be like once a month. Let's do this, on the podcast. Talk about what you cooked, because you grill a lot too, you know, and
Yeah, most
we can
definitely.
we can talk about some random shit in the meantime, and all that. And it's always a pleasure to have you on one of the podcasts. Got to get you on the
Always.
tech podcast next. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. Don't worry about it. So before you go, just in case people haven't watched any of the podcasts that you were on, tell them what you do and tell them where to find you on social media and what you got going on too, because you got some big stuff going on too.
Yeah, I am a writer, poet. I published two poetry books. The first one is called Love Letters, a collection of poems. The second one is called The Essence of Love. And as a matter of fact, today I just released finally the Kindle version of The Essence of Love.
Got my
Um,
notification.
yeah, yeah,
Woo!
you pre-order. Thank you for your pre-order. You and my wife
Well
were the
done.
only ones who did the pre-order, but I appreciate y'all.
Hey man, hit up that dude that you said like the watch the other podcast for that inside joke.
Yeah. And I got you can check out my blog. I post poems every Wednesday. It's thebrownsugarcafe.blog. You can also find on my social media sites on there, man. I'm even on Pinterest. LinkedIn, Terrance P. Elmore, hit me up there. I'm trying to really expand my LinkedIn connections and trying to really dive into LinkedIn. Noticing some good things over there. And it's better than Facebook, really. But I'm on Facebook
Anything's
too, the
better than
Brown Sugar
Facebook, man.
Cafe. Yeah.
Anything.
Twitter, more. And oh yeah, I'm a podcaster now. I have my own podcast. It's the Brown Sugar Cafe podcast.
Woo-woo.
Episode 2 will be dropping next week. So be
All
on the
right.
lookout for that. Yeah, be on the lookout for
That's
that.
what's up.
After a couple of episodes, man, I'm start having guests, and you'll be a guest on there, and we're gonna chop it up, have a good time.
I would love it. I would love it. Yes. Are we going to talk about self-love?
Um,
Because we got to.
I
We
don't
got we
know.
got it in some capacity.
I don't know.
Come on, man.
I'm gonna come up with some real good questions for I'm gonna do an interview style, and I'm gonna come
Okay.
up with some really good questions, man.
I'm not usually the person to get interviewed, so let me get my mind right for that one.
It's gonna be
All
fun, man. It's gonna be
right,
fun. Yeah.
it'll be an honor. Oh man, this is great. You guys got to follow Terrance. He's doing big things. Always on the social medias. Always on Clubhouse too. You'll see him. His
Oh
name is
yeah,
on.
I've been forgetting about it. Yeah, hit me up on Clubhouse, man. Terrance P. Elmore. I'm
Yeah, man.
there. I
Well,
be in those Clubhouse streets.
yeah, man. The mean streets of Clubhouse.
Yeah.
Catch me outside. So there's some housekeeping things real quick with the Mavcast audio blog. So I just figured out a new feature from Twitter that allows you to do newsletters. All
Oh,
right.
okay.
So I'm going to start doing a newsletter. It's going to be composed of some of my tweets, some articles that I will add some color to, and some of the podcasts that have been recorded over the past week. So it's going to be a weekly newsletter and subscription only. So, hey guys, I know you love the show and I want you to get some more dope content. So tell your friends about what's going on at the Mavcast Audio Blog. We're trying to do some good stuff over here. Keep you entertained and informed and enlightened. Take you away from CNN and all that stuff. Stop watching that. Stop watching that. You're going crazy watching that. Come over here and and listen to all the podcasts on the channel, and then go listen to other people's podcasts, and then tell people about all the podcasts you listen to and say how good it was. Oh, I learned so much. You people hate against podcasts, are like they just talking. That's what we do, dummy. You know, we talk. It's that's what humans do. We talk about, and it's not scripted. You know, aren't you tired of script? I mean, you watch reality TV most of the time. You're like, that's not scripted. It is, but we're not. So there you have it. Argue me. No, meet me outside. We talk about it in the clubhouse streets, like with Terrance. You know, you don't agree? Meet us outside. Come listen to the podcast that people are making. We're putting some thought into it. It takes time and effort, and give back to those creatives that are trying to, give you good stuff to listen to, man. It's not free to us. We're not trying to get rich, but if show love, just show some love. So I hope that people subscribe to the newsletter. You mentioned something that's a big hurdle. Numbers, the pre-order. Yeah, I know. It's hard to get those numbers, man. It's hard to get those numbers up there. But baby steps. We have to be vigilant. We had that talk about the
Yeah.
whole thing about you don't do it for the numbers. You do it for the love, and it happens. You got to stay vigilant. Have stay on the ball. Don't get discouraged, and be genuine and organic and all that. So, a pleasure to
And
do
then you
that.
gotta have a marketing plan too. That's another
Yeah.
thing. It's like you gotta follow up, because I've learned that, because I've done this too. That's how I know. Like, you tell somebody about something, see something like, yeah, I'm gonna order that, then they get distracted and they don't
Yeah.
remember. So you gotta kind of constantly put it in front of them, but don't
Yep.
be like, so silly, but just kind of constantly put it in front of them.
Right. Yeah.
Struggle with that, but yeah.
It's hard. It's rough. Yeah. It's one of those things. But I mean, as long as we do what we love, and we hope you enjoy what you hear, then just pass it on to someone. We actually have some deep conversations on here that aren't so trivial as cooking chicken and hamburgers, and it might be meaningful to someone. Even the hamburger conversation might change someone's life. If you were that person, sounds like one of those commercials. If you were that person that has been affected by subpar cookout burgers, please call the hotline and join the Charlie Maverick and Terrance conversation as they talk about live fire cooking on the next Pitmaster podcast, the Backyard Pitmaster podcast, brought to you by the Mavcast audio blog. I hope you guys enjoy your weekend, and remember, keep that fire going. And that's all I got.